front of our parents. You see what I'm saying? In front of our parents. Now, going back to this, because we didn't have a jail system, some of the penalties were, because it wasn't probably some real vicious things, but if you did some stuff that was just taboo or unforgivable at that particular point, you just were allowed to leave the community. And that was enough punishment to be uprooted from your original dwelling place or habitat. Which, because culture was everything, but outside of culture, you were nothing. So it would be taboo, or it would be just as much psychological punishment to be banished from a society. Well, the legend has it is that there was a new state set up in the Americas for people who, number one, were banished from the societies, and they would settle in remote places. Well, the legend has it that one of the places was Memphis, Egypt. First it was a settlement for people who were banished from the societies, and later on, based on visitation and trade with these particular people, it later on became a province of ancient Kemet, and was named Memphis. This is the information that the sister gave based on the legends of the Native Americans. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's all kind of Masonic history the European is hiding. In Richard Noon's book, Ice the Ultimate Disaster, 5/5/2000, Ice the Ultimate Disaster, he quotes several Masonic organizations that had held on certain information that is also quoting the early white settlers, here again, in America, when he said that when the white settlers settled Maine, the state of Maine, they found Egyptians or Canaanites reading, writing, and speaking hieroglyphics in that area. As well as to go on to say that in the early 1800s in Oklahoma, they found a stela or a stone tablet, a writer of Akhenaten. Long before Akhenaten's hymns, long before they even knew who Akhenaten was, long before they even excavated Tel al-Amarna. Because, you know, he was the heretic king stricken from the monuments. But they found stelas, or these stone plates, in Oklahoma long before they even knew who Akhenaten was. There's reports of whole temples, the temple of Isis, the temple of Osiris, in the Grand Canyon. Now all of a sudden, mysteriously, you can't go to certain parts. Just as that book, what's called God Wills the Negro. Why, if it's false, why would the government bother to come in and confiscate almost 95% of all the books that they could find, or 98% of all those books, if it didn't have some truth? You see what I'm saying? If it didn't have some truth. So you hear these Moorish organizations saying that there was Egyptians and ancient people over here long before the slaves got here. And this is probably some of the greatest mysteries on the earth. You see what I'm saying? But we cannot do like the European and set certain standards that later on will hinder us from looking into greater insights, even into history, by saying, no, this is the way it is. You know what I'm saying? This is the way it is. We can't do that. So there's just as much a Camite history of America that's connected with us as it is West Africa.